This photo is terrifying because of what you can't see. What's going on in this photo will make you physically sick. It was December 1972 in Merced in California when a little boy was walking home from school. 7-year-old Steven Stainer was a little bit annoyed because his mum was late to pick him up that day, so he just decided to walk back, which would end up being one of the biggest regrets of his mum's life. Steven was adorable. He was a lovely boy. He was trusting, kind, helpful. So when a man stopped him at the side of the road and asked him if he would be willing to donate to the church, he was like, well, I'm sure my mum would. So this man showed him to a car, and inside this car was a man called Kenneth Parnell. Now, the one guy explained that Kenneth Parnell was a reverend. He was like, this reverend's going to give you a lift home, we'll get the money off your mum, and then we'll drop you off. But he didn't drive Steven home, and Steven was in the car kind of panicking, like, well, why are they driving past my house? He drove and drove and drove to a remote cabin. Meanwhile, Steven's mum was worried sick that he hadn't come back that day. She rang police, she was putting up posters, she was handing out flyers, the whole town was frantic. It was all over the news about this missing child. They had no idea they wouldn't find out what happened to Steven for 7 years. Now, before we get back to the story, if you want the insane deep dive with all of the little details, the 2-part special is now out on my podcast, because honestly, what happened to this family defies belief. The Stainer Curse, the Miracle and the Monster is out now. So suddenly, out of the blue, over 7 years after he disappeared into thin air, Steven shows up at a random police station, but he's not on his own. He's got with him another missing child. This was Timmy White, who just disappeared a few weeks prior, and they had a horrifying tale to tell. Steven was brainwashed. He was told by his captors right from day one, your parents don't want you anymore, we've legally adopted you. He thought he had been officially adopted by Kenneth Parnell, and Kenneth told him, you've now got to call me Dad, and your new name is Dennis. He'd been made to travel round and literally live his life like he was Dennis. He'd even been enrolled into a school and had friends, and they had no idea this had happened to him. Kenneth was a convicted criminal, and like I said, I go into way more details on the pod episode, but he was a paedophile. He abused Steven, and as the years went on, he felt Steven was too old for him now. He wanted a new, younger boy. And when he snatched Timmy White, at this point, Steven was like, enough is enough. I'm not going to sit by and let what happened to me happen to this little boy too. So one night in the pitch black, in the pouring rain, Timmy and Steven made a run for it. He hitchhiked over 40 miles to a police station in Ukiah in California. After 7 years, Steven's parents got a knock at the door. Steven was alive, and he was a hero. His police statement read, my name is Steven Stainer. I am 14 years of age. I don't know my true birth date, but I used April the 18th, 1965. I know my first name is Steven. I'm pretty sure my last is Stainer, and if I have a middle name, I don't know it. The family were over the moon, and the reunion was broadcast all over the news. Hundreds of people were out in the streets. There was welcome home signs, TV, news cameras, journalists. They all wanted a piece of this miracle story. The most insane scenes ever. Kenneth was ultimately convicted of the 2 kidnappings, but only given 7 years behind bars. But the family thought their life was back on track. They thought this miracle had happened. What could possibly go wrong? When I tell you we have not even scratched the surface, the 2-part special is now out on the Bourne investigation, and it could genuinely be 5 different crime cases in one.